Franco di Cataldo. I come from Venice. I collaborate with the University of Venice in teacher training. My presentation is connected with many things that I heard this morning about active research. And I would like that for my presentation you have this reference point. How can we develop some specific activities following this methodology? And following Zorfa's, my idea is we can divide it in 4 phases. The first phase is students by becoming immersed in ideas. This is very important, to be immersed in the ideas, because this is a first part. It can be a narrative part, how called this morning BRIM, and where for students becoming issues becoming full of meaning. You understand? After this immersion of students in the issue, the second part is designing a search plan. Students develop a plan of action to guide their investigation. In this moment, students has to get a lot of resources. How we said it this morning, now are available a lot of resources, but these resources must be meaningful. No? And this is the third phase. Students not only gather information from a variety of resources, but also consciously organize and make meaning of this information. They integrate this information. The last phase is using variety of information media. Students express and display what they have learned to an audience. This is another important part, because it's the moment that students can be creative, can be personalize their research, and this can be very important for the motivation of students, because they personalize the information, gathering putting together and elaborating together. We talked also about learning communities. What is changing about learning communities? The Web 2.0 has changed our way of understanding, of getting information. Now we want to produce information. This map can explain that we can contribute to collective intelligence. This means that when we work and we elaborate information, we can contribute with this arrow, going from people to the cloud. The cloud represents the collective intelligence. Using this contest as a reference point, we worked just starting last year with using new technology, preparing a wiki. A wiki just for discussing together, to have, how told before, Whitehead, active dialogue. Not only in presence, but also a distance dialogue. This is the real problem. We meet, we have a dialogue, but after we leave this room, the dialogue finishes. The wiki is considered a kind of a website, nothing else. But the wiki gives the opportunity to discuss together every document. And to have an active dialogue means that we can discuss these documents. And then we can produce new knowledge. So, new technology for action research. Not only the wiki, also WebQuest as an issue extending and refining knowledge. We can consider a WebQuest like a particular moment of your activity as teacher. A moment where we can research, we can have interdisciplinary activities among many students, but also many teachers work together of different disciplinary. We're following the same methodology that we told before. We can have an instrument, operative instrument, just for developing this methodology. I go very straight because the time is... So, which are the essential elements of a WebQuest? First of all, an introduction. Introduction, we mean in this moment like the immersion. No? Students must be introduced in the argument, in the issue that they have to research. The second part is a task. We give to the student definite task. Must be very quite definitive. Set of information sources. Just for preparing a WebQuest, you have to give a task and then to say which are the sources. Not only web sources, but only books, I don't know, media, every kind of media can be good as sources. But they have to know which is the task, how they can use these sources. A description of the process. It's very important, the teacher as a guide, is a consultant of students, working together, but he is guiding the student in his research. And surely you have a final production, you need a final production, but at the end we need also an evaluation. The evaluation is a difficult point. You need a kind of rubric where you evaluate what they learned, but how they worked together. So you must evaluate the knowledge, but also the competencies, but also the process that they follow in their research and in their production. At the end, as active research requires, a conclusion that brings closure to the quest, reminds the learners about what they have learned, and perhaps encourages them to extend experience into other domains. Well, now we don't have an internet connection, but time is very short. I found very interesting what they have done in London. The National Museums in London, they prepare many web quests just for visiting the museum. And as you see here, there is the case stage. You can choose which is the level of the students, and then the subject area, for example, art, design, citizenship, English. And then you got some web quests connected with the subject area, with the level. And here you have, if you choose, for example, as I have done, conceptual art to debate, you have a summary, and you need 4 hours for these activities. And then, after the web quest, you go to visit the museum, preparing the students on a specific activity. Well, critical awareness of the personal historical memory. Now I wish to connect about the presentation before. The way forward in order to build a critical awareness of the personal historical memory is to engage students in active research projects. The focus is the analysis of a crucial period for the history of Thessaloniki. Well, in front of the proposal of Chrysoula, she told me that it is the centenary of liberation of Thessaloniki from the Turks. I informed them, I get some information, and I found that before the occupation of Turks, we have 7 years that Thessaloniki asked to Venice to be protected from the Turks. And so, my idea is we can study altogether this period through some web quest and following this methodology. So, we begin. It is 1423. It's an introduction of a webcast. Now we are my students, and I am introducing the webcast. Venice starts dealing with the Greek tyrant of Thessaloniki, Andronico, and with Greek inhabitants about their desire to move under the Venetian control, without anything in return except the Republic's commitment to defend them against the Turks who besieged the town. The Venetians deluded themselves, thinking that having lost the town, he was about to win, the Sultan, would accept the dealing and would respect their flag. This is the start. 7 years, very interesting 7 years. Is a period is not very studied for historical researchers, and I found just an article, a research, but it is from 1910. It's about 100 years ago. This was the situation. No? In this period, the development of Ottoman Empire, just in 100 years, is changing from this initial situation to this final situation. Here, always introduction of a web quest, immersion, full immersion. We have here 2 doge. Doge is a ducal of Venice, no? In that period. 1423, the Doge Mocenigo is dying. as is arriving a new doge. Is a doge Foscari. The last speech of Doge Mocenigo is asking to be patient, to look for peace, and he asking also that Doge that for the future could not be Doge Foscari. He said, many people follow Francesco Foscari. If he is elected Doge, you will always be fighting. You will be vassal of infantry and of the soldiers and the captains instead of being the leaders. I had to give you this advice, and before to die, may help you to elect the best man and make you live long in peace. But despite this, the wise advice of the dying Doge, Francesco Foscari was elected as his successor, and began a long period of wars. You see, images connected are Venice is full of these images in the churches and around in the streets. Just to propose the kind of full immersion, just looking around you. You are studying a specific period, and now look around in the town what you find of that period. And this means to give full of significance to this finishing the introduction, 1430, the end of these 7 years from 1423. The choice of accepting the protection of Thessaloniki was dictated more by the need to gain the control of the sea route to the Black Sea than by the real desire to defend the city and its population from the Ottomans. This is a sure reading these documents. Venice was not really interested to defend the town, but was interested to control this part of the Mediterranean. The unwise administration of the protection of Thessaloniki determined the loss of the city in 1430, despite the huge amount of human and economic resources Venice has spent for its protection. You see, just the map, just to understand. We begin with the resources. No? Thessaloniki is in the middle, and these are the routes of Venetian commerces, just to go in the Black Sea, which are the tasks. We finished the introduction, which are the tasks of the web quest. As we saw, political, economical, can be geographical, technological. Geographical, which were the maps of that period, which were the ships of that period. In this kind of ships lived about 200, 250 people. What kind of life there inside? How they navigate, you know? But which are connection with arts and literature. We find in Delacroix the two Foscari. Foscari, you remember, is the Doge was elected. There is also by Byron a tragedy about Foscari, and also an opera by Verdi, and also we can find some works by Pierpaolo Pasolini. I don't know if you know. He's an Italian writer. No? Because the Turks arrived also in northern part of Italy, and he has produced some literature about the memory of this. Cyber proxy? Yes. Okay. But which are the multicultural presences in Venice? Of the Turks, for example. Just the palace in the Grand Canal was the Fondaco dei Turchi. It's a palace that were kind of ambassador for the ambassador. No? But just this printing is very interesting because the carnival in Venice is arriving now. At the beginning of the carnival is with this exhibition from the tower to the ducal palace. Now there is an angel, but the beginning with was a Turkish acrobat in 16th century. Yes, just for remembering. No? So I think that historical memory can be got just through, not through just narrative activities, but the study of this significant historical period, adopting a web quest, following the methodology of active research, gives the opportunity to develop interdisciplinary competencies, to represent the conceptual support for a critical approach to the reconstruction of the past. The collaborative treatment of this Thessaloniki case study under three different points of view, from Venetian, Greek, and Turkish, can be translated into an interesting project that allows to integrate historical experiences from multiple cultural contexts. In such a way, the modern technologies of communication through the web can give an important contribution to the realization of a collective historical memory. Thank you.